Okay, welcome everyone in this 5S implementation training. So in this training, uh, today I am going to tell you what I am going to train on what topic. So first I will tell you how to implement the Seiri or shorting in the organization. Then I will tell you how to implement the Seton, Seton, Seton in the, and then I will tell you about the Shisho. Steps to practice Shisho in the organization, right? So starting with the implementation of CRE or shorting. So what do we understand by the CRE? Please tell me. You can see here even though. So it is separating necessary items from unnecessary ones and remove necessary items from unnecessary ones, right? But how we can identify that these items are necessary and these items are not necessary to us? After that, we can sort out the things. So please, can anyone tell me what are the necessary items and what are the unnecessary items? So then the process is implementation of CRE. How? You need to survey the area. In which area you want to sort out the things. First you need to survey the area. What area you have, what kind of cullet is there, how much space you are going to gain if you sort out the unnecessary items. And necessary items means frequently required items, the items which are necessary to perform your task. These items are necessary for you, only those items. So the first step, this one is the first step. First you need to survey the area, identify the area or survey the area. Then the second thing, tag unneeded or infrequent items. You have to throw out the unnecessary items or infrequent items or unneeded items. So how would you do that? The, then this is the second step, and the third step is categorize the items. So how to categorize the items? Is a way we have, is it scrap, is it recyclable, is it relocatable, or you need to keep it temporary. According to that, you need to create a red tag area. You need to create the red tag area. In the red tag area, what you need to do? You have to collect all the unnecessary items in that area. Whether it is you want to remove the item, you want to relocate the item, but you will not do the direct, you will not take any direct action. You have to collect all the unnecessary items in the red tag area. You need to collect all the unnecessary items in the red tag area. In this area. And then you have to remove, or you will remove or relocate. But what is the procedure of relocation or remove the item? Then again you have to take care. So for that you have to document each and everything. If you want to remove something, you need to, if you want to remove something, you need to document that each and every item. If you want to relocate the item, relocate from the workplace area and relocate from the red tag area. So the first thing you need to do is, first you have to survey the area, then tag the unneeded items, infrequent items, and you, for that you have to create a red tag area. And in that red tag area, you have to identify what items are scrap, what items are recyclable, what items you can relocate, what items you want to keep temporarily. According to that, you keep the items. Okay. So, like in this, now, for example, you have to sort out the metallic items. So, how would you do that? So, first, identify the types of metal. Which types of metallic items are there? Like iron, aluminium, steel, brass, etc. And then you need to decide the criteria for removal. How to remove? So, is it removable actually, or is it repairable, or is it damaged item? Is it rusted item? Do we have duplicate items? Do we have a scrap? Or if we want to keep temporarily? So on the basis of these criteria, we should remove the items from our workplace. And where we need to put these items, we need to put the items at red tag area. So we need to put the items at the red tag area. So these are the criteria on the basis of which we remove items, unnecessary items from our workplace. So the question is how to tag the items, or how to make a red tag. That is the question. Please mute your mic. So you need to create a document for record. Red tagging, you need to do the red tagging. So for red tagging, what kind of headings you must have for that? So here is the red tagging issue. Creating a document for record, and this document is known as red tag. Red tag. So you can have the different kind of tags, like you can have red tag, you can have yellow tag, you can have green tag, or yellow or orange tag. So why we have orange tag? Orange tag for the items we want to inspect or decide later. Red tag items to be removed, isn't it? And green tag, green tag items uh, need to be keep at the workplace. So you make a these kind of tags. So but we do red tagging. Red tagging for what? To remove the unnecessary items from our workplace. Okay. Now the question is how to make a red tag. How to create a red tag. So here is the red tag. This is the kind of red tag. So a registration number is there. Red tag number, not registration number. Red tag number is there. Date is there. Department is there. Mechanical assembly. Area or location. Item name. For example, here is the old torque wrench. Quantity, how many pieces are there? 2 pieces. And the serial number of item. Current location. And what is the reason to red tag? So not used in the last 1 to 3 months, duplicate items or obsolete or outdated, broken, not working. You have to mention the reason here. In this area, you have to mention the reason. Then recommended actions. What actions you want to take? So you want to move to storage, transfer to other department, repair the item or reuse the item, recycle the item, sell or discard the scrap. So whatever the action you want to take, you have to mention here in this section. And then mention the name who is creating the red tag or creating the form, this red tagging form. Then mention he has to uh, he has to do his signature, and final decision by red tag review team. There is a team who will review the red tag form, and then the team will make the decision. So in this way you can do the sorting in the organization. So everybody is clear about this? Everybody is clear about the red tagging or the sorting? Okay, thank you. So I would like to move to the next section. This is Seton, or this is I have mentioned the sorting here, but this is set in order. This is the set in order. Seton is set in order. Okay. So what is the objective of implementing set in order? So objective is items not needed frequently kept safely out of the way, and the main objective is of the Seton is a place for everything, and everything is in its place. So items should be visible. Should all items should be visible, and the necessary items should be easily accessible, and every item at the workplace must be labeled. There must be name on each and every item, and it should be stored ergonomically at our workplace. So what do we mean by ergonomically? What do we understand by ergonomically? Human movements. Okay, right. So they all items. Anybody else would like to share his views or his inputs? Okay. So ergonomically, thank you, Praveen, for sharing your inputs. Ergonomically means our body movements. Our body movements must be in such a situation that we can easily access all the tools, all the necessary items, and they must be in the reach of our hand. So we should not bend so that our back uh, will come into pain. So all the items must be placed in such a way that we should not get any kind of pain. For example, heavy items must be at a height of our our uh, our middle position. At our belt, where we wearing the belt, at this position, every heavy item should be there, right? So this is the items must place at the height of our uh, can say that our middle of the body. So that we can easily pick the item, easily place the item for our uses, and we can easily access our items with our hands. So they must be placed in such a way. Okay. Next, benefits of Seiton. What are the benefits of Seiton? So it saves time. When the items are placed in an order, we can save our time. So for example, in your kitchen, in our kitchen, if the salt, the spices are properly labeled and put in an order, then we can easily use the items. Easily use the item. We need not to search the items. And even though if they are placed, all the spices, salt, and all these things, if they are placed in the transparent boxes, we can easily find out. So this is the example of set in order. And similarly, in our wardrobe, if the clothes are placed in an order means if they are properly ironed, if they are properly hanged, what kind of shirt we want to wear, what kind of pant we want to wear, if they are properly matched, if they are properly arranged, if they are properly packed. So we have to save our lot of time in searching of our clothes. The second thing is it improves safety. Similarly, when the items are placed in an order, when the items are placed in a proper sequence, we can safely use those items, and we don't need to stress, or we don't need to be in strain where the item has lost, where is this item, I am not getting the item when I need it. These kind of questions will not come into our mind. And then it enhances the workflow and visual control. So our mind don't want to remember each and everything. This is our mistake, that we want to remember each and everything. We don't want our mind don't want to remember each and everything. That's why we need visual control. We need colorful things. We want a proper workflow. So that if we put the things in an order, so our mind easily identify the things, easily uh, easily find the flow of the item, in which sequence we have to use the items. We easily get to know, because our mind don't want to take stress to remember each and everything, remember the workflow, remember the name of the item, remember the color of the item. And if we do like this, if we want to remember each and everything in our mind, then our mind will feel stress. There is a lot of clutter happen, and there will lot of clutter happen in our mind. That's why we need 5S. So next thing is it builds discipline and ownership. When at your workplace, if you do these things like this way, in a disciplined way, so that means you are the owner of your workplace. You pay your responsibilities at your workplace, right? So these are the benefits, some of the benefits of the Seton. Okay. Now let us see how the Seiton can be realized. Let us check. What are the standard steps to practice Seiton or set in order? The first step is identify the essential items. This is our first step. Identify the essential items. And what we need to do? So for that, what we need to do? We need to list the items that were retained during the stream. After the sorting phase, all the items which we have to list all the items which we want to set in an order, and then determine the frequency of use, whether we use daily, whether we use the items weekly, which items we want to use daily, which items we want to use weekly, which items we want to use monthly, and then eliminate anything that does not support the work process. Even though we have done all things in sorting, at the set in order sequence or set in order step or the Seiton step, we can also sort out the unnecessary steps or unnecessary items. So this is the first step of Seiton. The second step is analyze usage pattern. How the items are being used or will be used. You have to identify the pattern. Okay. So what we need to do here? You need to identify or you need to understand the analyze pattern, how the operator are using the items, or who is the operator, who is the operator, who is going to use the items, and in which frequency he is using the items, how often he is using the items, what is the frequency of use, and in which sequence he is using, and what is the best point of use location, at which place he has to do that, he has to put the item or he has to put the tools. Like this guy having the tools in his pocket in this way. You can see here, this guy has pencil in his ear, has the electrical saw in his hand, screwdrivers in his belt, measuring tape in his belt. So he has lot of things in his pocket. So we have to understand what patterns are there, in which pattern the operator is using the item, right? Next, let's go to the next step of the Seiton. Now we have to designate the specific locations. So like this, you can see here, there are different boxes for each and everything. There is every specific place for everything. Place for everything and everything is on place. So what you need to do in this step, assign fixed places for everything. Then you can make the zones, bins, racks, dashboards or cabinets, and tools placed near the machine they serve. For example, all the tools you have to place near the machine where you want to use. Okay, now let's check the next step. Now in the next step, use visual management. So this is your shadow board, and you can see the shadow board like this. You cannot misplace your tool. You can easily find your tool, and after use you can easily put the tool at its place. You can never mistaken, even though if you want to mistake, then you can never be mistake to place your tool. You can easily find out your tool and easily put your tool back to its position. So this is the visual management. Visual management, it helps to relieve the stress on your mind. Your mind don't Our mind don't wants to remember many things. That's why we need to use the visual management. So how to do the visual management? Apply labels, shines, shadow boards, outlines, and color codes. Using these tips, using these methods, we can make a visual management area. And then by visual management, we can ensure place for everything and everything on its place. Like in this shadow board, you can see that every tool has a specific place and it will go to its place. And if you name this place, what is the place? So this is the visual management. You can write down you can label each and every item and then put every item on its place. So you will follow the principle of place for everything and everything on its place. This is the basic requirement of Seiton. Okay, next we move to the ergonomics. Apply ergonomics while implementing the Seiton principle. So heavy items at waist level. So if you see that in this section, you will feel that if this trolley is something like that. The frequent items at top of the trolley, the less frequent items are in the first drawer. Then the less frequent items, more less frequent items are on this drawer, and very much rare frequently items in this drawer. So most frequent, you are using the items you put on the top of the trolley, and the less frequent items in the first drawer. Or you can say that you can take out the items according to your work on the top of the trolley. So what is the principle is there? We want to put all the items necessary for our work at at the height of waist level, isn't it? So this is the way. This is the way to put the things in an order ergonomically. And every item should be in our arm's reach. Okay, now we see that limit quantity. So if you are doing uh, a salty water, if you want to prepare a glass of salty water, what items should be there? So there must be water, salt, and spoon, right? These are the necessary items to prepare a glass of water with a glass of salty water. But if you put there uh, sugar and some spices, then what happens? You could make a salty plus sugar, sweet water, sweet glass of water. So what is the limit quantity principle is saying that according to your work, put only those things or those items at your place, at your workplace, which are very much necessary, and then put them in an order, right? So only maintain the minimum necessary quantity. Do not overstocking. Always avoid the overstocking. Now come to the next principle. Create a Seiton or standard map. So this is a map. You have to prepare a layout design. In this way, you have to prepare a layout for Seiton implementation, right? So for every, you see that by yellow line, we are making the boundary for each and everything. So we have to decide we have to decide the boundary for each and every item so that it should not go out of the boundary. So what are the necessary tasks we need to do at this step? We need to document each and everything, document the layout, item placement, and labeling system, and then develop the visual standards or floor layout maps for training and audits. Okay, and then check out what differences are you able to see, what differences you can see. So always before implementing any step of the 5S, take a picture before and take a picture after so that you can realize how much changes are there. So this will also help you understand how much you have learned during your 5S training, isn't it? Okay. So this is our the second principle, Ceto. Let me check something more is there or not. Yeah. So here it is. We have color coding. So here we have the color coding. So how do we have the color coding? How do we make the color coding? What types of color we need to uh, use for making the layouts? Okay. Yellow is used for aisles, the space between the rows, traffic lanes, walkways, machine guards, work cells. Yellow is used. Then orange, inspection or temporary storage location. We can use the orange color. Then red for what we use for defects, scrap, rework, red tag areas. We use the red color. We use the green color for finished goods, safety equipments. For what we use the blue color, raw materials, inventory, inspection points. We use the blue color. And for what we use the black color, work in progress, materials. And why we use the black and yellow color, areas of potential health risks requiring caution, hazardous material containers. We use the black and yellow, black and yellow. And why we use the black and white, areas for operational use, stay out. where we have the black and white color, we use the man should be stay out. This is the operational use. And for what we have the gray color, racks, storage, we use the gray color. So this is the Seiton principle. How do we implement the Seiton principle? So I hope everybody is clear about the Seiton implementation. Anybody have? Okay, okay. Now I am moving to the next step of the 5S, and this is our Seiso. Seiso or shine. So what do we mean by Seiso? Seiso is not only about removing dirt, it's about removing mental clutter also. You know, what is the meaning of Seiso? Seiso is not just cleaning the floor or just cleaning the uh, your your table. It is not about that. It is clearing the clutter and identifying that how much you are careful about your workplace, how much you are caring your workplace. Seiso is that if you are not cleaning your workplace, that means you are very careless. You are very ignorant about your places. And a clean place invites clean behavior. When you have a clean and clear place, that means your behavior also reflecting the cleanliness. That means you have less clutter in your mind. You have less clutter of your thoughts. You know what we what is the meaning that if we say that my mind is not okay? What does that mean? So there are a lot of diseases are there related to mental illness like anxiety, like depression. All these are related with the clutter happened in our mind. When there is a lot of clutter happened. Clutter of what kind of clutter? Clutter of thoughts. If we do not clean our mind, then we have accumulated. What does that mean by clutter? Clutter means unwanted thoughts, thoughts of past, thoughts of future, thoughts of fear. All these kind of thoughts are, let me write down. What kind of thoughts we consider the clutter? Thoughts of fear, anxiety, anxiety. E should be there. Anxiety and past, future. So what does that mean? We are straining our mind. What we are doing? We are collecting the clutter in our mind. We are we are collecting the clutter in our mind. So like if when we want to clean our house, at the same time we want to clean our mind also. And what we need to do to clean our mind? Meditation, yoga, going for a walk. All these kind of things are need to do for to clear the unwanted thoughts in our mind. So that is very necessary. Similarly, why I am relating the seesaw with our mind? Because the objective of seesaw. So what if you don't clear your mind with unwanted thoughts, then what will happen? Recently, Air India 171 plane got crashed, and the reports are coming and the reports are saying the the pilot was not in such a good condition of mind. He was suffering from some anxiety and all these things. There are some reports. I am not saying that. There are some reports. So what I want to say that flying a plane is a very responsible job, ultimately responsible job. So if the system, many times the pilots are in a, they are working for round the clock 24 hours, they have lot of problems in family. But when you fly a plane, so it doesn't matter what kind of problems are going in your mind. You have to clear your mind because you are responsible for the lives of hundreds of people. So that is the benefit of Seiso. If you don't clear the workplace from unnecessary items, if you don't clear your mind with unnecessary thoughts, there is a chance that a big mistake or a turbulence or a blunder could be created, right? So let's see what steps are there to practice Seiso or shine. So first, we have to assign the responsibility. The first step to practice Seiso is assign the responsibility. Who will do what? What area is to be cleaned by whom? Right? So must be assigned a person a responsible job that which area of the machine he will clear. And so sometimes it is necessary to deep cleaning of the machine. So the deep cleaning will be done by only the technical people. So if you are saying that assign the responsibility of cleaning of the machine only, then it is the responsibility of the operator. So autonomous maintenance is the part of this CISO principle. When an operator take cares of his machine fully in his control. So first step is to assign the responsibility. The second step is to identify cleaning targets. Cleaning targets means what you need to clean. What you need to clean. Identify cleaning targets. So what you need to clean? You have to list down each and every item, area and equipment you want to clean. And you need not to miss the hidden items, places under the machine, inside the drawers, etc. So every item you want to clean, you have to make a list. This is the second step. The third step is choose cleaning tools and methods. So you have assigned the responsibility. You have make a list. You have done to collect the items which you wanted to clean. Now you want to identify which items you need to clean. What are the tools using which you are going to clean the workplace or the machine, all these things. Here in third step, you have to identify the cleaning tools and methods and by which way you are going to clean. The first thing is that what kind of tool you are required. So if you are going to mop the floor, what you need? You need a mop. First you need a mop, you need a water, you need water, and you need how to mop the floor. A method is there. Similarly, if you want to clean the machine drill type area, like this in this picture you can see there, if you want to clean this what we call it, this area, this is the sectional area, rolling type of area. Here we need machine. We have to make the assign the responsibility, and then we have to identify which area we are going to clean, then which type of tool. Here this kind of brush we require, iron brush, and we need gloves for that, so that our hands must be protected, right? So similarly, we have to identify the, and how do we clean, that needs to be mentioned here. So we need to make a standard operating procedure for that. So identify the right tools, materials, methods, and each task like clothes, brush, and aid. Okay. So here we have the third step. Then the fourth step is set a regular cleaning schedule. Okay. So you have to set a cleaning schedule, regular cleaning schedule, whether you are going to make a daily cleaning, whether the place requires daily cleaning, which place is required weekly cleaning, which items are required weekly cleaning, which items are required or places required monthly cleaning activities. So you need to make a calendars, checklist, checklist, visual boards, and ensure the accountability. You must report someone that you have done the cleaning and at which time. You have to make a time, as I mentioned, the calendar. So for example, every Friday 4:30 to 5 p.m. 30 minutes is a Seiso session at your desktop or your workplace. You need to pay. And 4:30 to 5 p.m. means it is the end, it is the time when the shift is going to end. So end of the shift, you have to clean your workplace before before leaving your workplace, right? So next step is inspect while you clean. Now this is the ultimate objective of the cleaning. If you don't clean, what will happen? So if you don't inspect, if you don't clean, the objective of cleaning is to inspect that what things are happening behind the carpet. You need to inspect. You need to spot the potential issues: oil leaks, cracks, misalignments, loose wires, etc. So because of these, what could happen? A big hazards happen. If you While cleaning, if you don't inspect the oil leakage, cracks, misalignments, then probably you will get a potential risk. So the objective behind the cleaning, identify the risks, identify the potential threats. So this is the kind of the CISO ties with the preventive maintenance. When you do cleaning, you are doing the preventive maintenance. So while cleaning, you are doing the preventive maintenance. Okay, right? Like notice an unusual vibration or unusual crack or the crack. These these flaws you need to identify while cleaning. The objective of it. Okay. The next thing is clean and eliminate root causes of dirt. So if you find that continuously dirt is coming, CISO is coming under the autonomous maintenance and under the TPM. So if you clean only the symptoms, right? and if you don't clean where the dust is coming, not clear, then the dust will again come to you. So you have to eliminate the root causes also. Why the things are getting dirty? So you need to do that. So why the leaks? So if there is a leak, then why the leak is happening? If you don't fix that, then leaks could make the floor slippery, and there could be dangerous safety risk. Anybody in the plant could slip on that surface and could have a potential injury or could have a severe injury. So for that you have to install a tray to collect leaking oil rather than constantly wiping. So it doesn't, wiping is the cleaning, okay, wiping is the cleaning, but if you don't fix the leakage, then this will lead to a severe injury to someone. And then finally, record and display results before and after. And this is the final thing under the Seiso third principle, that you have to take photograph before doing the cleaning. You have to take a photograph here, and then after cleaning you have to take photograph after the cleaning. So that you can identify the changes, what changes you have realized, and how much you have progressed. And this recognizes that you are the owner of your area. You are very careful about your responsibilities, about your workplace, and you can put the picture on the shine. So this is all about the Seiri, implementation of Seiri, implementation of Seiton, and implementation of Seiso. Tomorrow I will tomorrow I will tell you the implementation of Shiketsu and Shitsuke, and I will tell you how the Shitsuke and Shiketsu and Shitsuke are different from each other. Sometime many times people are understanding that Shiketsu, if you implement the Shiketsu, there is no need to implement the Shitsuke. If you implement the standardization, then there is no need to sustain. It automatically will sustain. No, you have to implement the fifth S also. And then I will tell you about the habit formation for sustenance. So if you want to sustain sustain something or sustain the 5S, you have to be habitual. And how the habits are formed, I will tell you how the habits are formed. There is a rule, the rule of habit formation. Why we have why we get bad habits easily and good habits take a lot of efforts. All these things I will describe tomorrow with all of you. So how do you feel about this training? Any question if you want to ask me? Thank you for your feedback. Any question? Rosel and Ismail, Nakul, any feedback? Thank you, thank you. Tomorrow you can share the form to your colleagues so that they can join this class. Yeah, Rochelle, you are going to say something. Okay, thanks a lot, Rochelle. Anybody else is there? Want to say something? Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks a lot for being with me during this training program. Tomorrow I will meet with you, and tomorrow is the concluding class of the 5S training. So I hope that you will be there on time.